The snow was coming down heavy that night, the kind of storm that made even the city feel like a ghost town. I was sitting on a metal bench at the train station, my nurse's scrubs still clinging to me after a 16-hour shift. My jacket was too thin, my rent was overdue, and by the time I got off work, my landlord had already changed the locks. 3 months behind, and that was it. My whole life packed in boxes, left to freeze on the sidewalk. I didn't even have the energy to cry. I just sat there shivering, staring at the snow piling up, wondering if this was it. If this was the moment I finally broke. That's when I heard the crunch of expensive shoes on ice. I looked up, and there he was, a tall man in a black coat, tailored like it came straight from some boardroom. And right next to him, a little girl in a bright red coat, hugging a teddy bear like her life depended on it. He didn't look at me the way most people did, with pity or judgment. No, his eyes softened like he'd been where I was. The little girl tilted her head, studying me with that unfiltered curiosity only kids have. "Excuse me," the man said, his voice low, careful, like he didn't want to startle me. "I'm Nathaniel Brooks. This is my daughter, Lily. We were waiting for our car when I noticed you've been out here a long time. Are you all right?" I wanted to lie to say I was fine, but my teeth were chattering so bad the word fine wouldn't have come out even if I tried. "I'm Emma." I managed my voice barely steady. "Just waiting for the train, but it's not coming." He crouched a little like he was trying to meet me where I was. "Forgive me if I'm overstepping, but you look like someone who's had a hard day. Can we help?" Before I could answer, Lily tugged on his sleeve and whispered something. He smiled at her, then looked back at me with a strange seriousness. "Emma, this might sound unusual, but would you join us for dinner? Just a warm meal? Nothing more. You look like you could use one." I hesitated. Pride told me to say no. Hunger told me to follow them anywhere. And then Lily, this little girl with the most honest eyes I'd ever seen, stepped forward. "Please come with us, Miss Emma. Daddy says you're cold and sad. I don't like it when people are cold and sad." That's how 20 minutes later I ended up in a restaurant I'd never be able to afford, drowning in the warmth of Nathaniel's coat, holding a bowl of soup like it was a lifeline. Lily sat beside me, chattering about her favorite cartoons and how she hated broccoli but loved pancakes. Slowly, the frost in my bones started to melt, and then Nathaniel leaned in, his tone shifting. "You're a nurse, right?" "Pediatric?" he asked gently. I nodded. "Yeah, been at it for a while." "And you've had some difficulties," he said. Not like a question, but like he already knew. That's when the dam broke. Tears I'd been holding back for months slipped down my cheeks. "I lost my apartment tonight," I admitted. Been trying to catch up on rent, working extra shifts, but it wasn't enough. I don't have anywhere to go. Silence stretched across the table. Nathaniel looked at Lily, and in that look, a whole conversation passed between them. He cleared his throat, steady but deliberate. "Emma, what I'm about to suggest is unconventional. But hear me out. I'm a single father. I run a company that demands constant travel. Lily, she's had to stay with babysitters who don't really know her. She needs someone who cares, someone patient, someone warm." He paused, locking eyes with me. "You need a home. I need someone I can trust with my daughter. What if we help each other? You live with us. You care for Lily when I'm away. In return, you get a room, privacy, a salary that lets you breathe." I stared at him like he'd just offered me the moon. "Mr. Brooks, you don't even know me. How can you trust me with your child?" He didn't flinch. "Because I've been watching you for an hour. The way you talk to Lily, the way you listen to her stories, the way she's already leaning into you like she's known you forever. That kind of warmth, you can't fake it." Then Lily reached for my hand, her little fingers wrapping around mine. "Miss Emma," she said with a smile, "I think you'd be the best person to live with us. How do you say no to that? You don't." 6 months later, I wasn't just the nurse who'd lost everything. I was the woman making breakfast while Lily ran through the garden we'd planted together. I was the one packing her school lunches, reading her bedtime stories, and staying up with her through asthma flare-ups, calming her with the same patience I gave to every child in the hospital. And Nathaniel, he wasn't just the CEO in a black coat. He was the man who came home late but always kissed Lily goodnight. The man who started asking about my day. The man who laughed at my sarcastic jokes over burnt pancakes. Somewhere along the way, the arrangement stopped feeling like a deal and started feeling like a family. Then one morning, he walked into the kitchen, adjusting his tie, his expression different, serious, almost nervous. "Emma," he said, "this arrangement has worked better than I ever imagined. Lily adores you. You've brought a stability I didn't realize we were missing." He took a breath, then reached for my hands. "But I need to tell you the truth. I've fallen in love with you, not just as Lily's caregiver, as the woman who's made this house a home." My heart skipped. I opened my mouth, but before I could answer, the kitchen door burst open. Lily stood there, cheeks pink from eavesdropping. "Miss Emma, please marry Daddy. Be my real mommy. I've been waiting forever." I laughed through the tears that wouldn't stop. In that moment, everything clicked: the storm, the bench, the coat, the soup. It wasn't luck. It was meant to be. "Yes," I whispered. "Yes, I'll be your family." A year later, in the same garden where Lily and I had planted flowers, I stood in a white dress while Nathaniel said his vows. He told the guests how he thought he was offering me a practical solution that night, just to roof a deal. But what he found was the missing piece of his heart. And as I looked at him, at Lily smiling wide as my maid of honor, I realized sometimes the lowest point of your life is just the doorway to everything you've ever dreamed of. But let me leave you with, was it fate that brought a homeless nurse and a lonely CEO together? Or was it just two people desperate enough to take a risk on each other? Do you believe love can start from a deal like that? Or do you think it's too good to be true? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take, because sometimes the line between chance and choice is thinner than snow on a winter's night.